Rawstyle kick is not just distortion, it is a system. You need a crunch layer for the body, a punch layer for the first impact, pitch movement for the transient, filtering and distortion for aggression, a controlled tail for movement, texture for character, and cleanup so the low end stays powerful. In this video, I'm breaking down the Rawstyle kick system inside Serum 2. And if you want to try the sound yourself, there is a free download linked below. You can download the free Rawstyle kick, open it, study it, and start building from there. We are starting from the init preset, so everything you hear is built from zero. The first part of this system is the crunch foundation. Oscillator A is already on by default, so I'm going to use it as the body of the kick. I move the wavetable position to a sine shape, and I set the random all the way down to 0. This is important because I want every hit to be consistent. Now I create an LFO in envelope mode, and I map it to the level of oscillator A. But this envelope is not shaped like a punch. I'm removing the first impact from this layer and focusing more on the crunch body. So oscillator A is not here to hit first. It is here to create the body and the growl of the kick. Now I activate oscillator B. This is going to become the punch layer. Again, I set the random to 0 so the attack stays consistent every time the kick plays. Then I create another LFO in envelope mode. This envelope is much shorter and sharper because this layer is going to control the punch. After that, I change the wavetable to Resin Mesh 1 and move the wavetable position to around 70. This gives the punch a more aggressive and raw character. At this point, oscillator A is giving me the crunch body, and oscillator B is giving me the punch. Now I need the transient to hit harder. So I create another LFO in envelope mode and go into the matrix. I map this envelope to the global main tuning. This envelope is extremely fast. It is basically just a transient shape. That fast pitch movement gives the kick that initial snap at the start of the hit. This is one of the most important parts of the Rawstyle kick, because before adding more distortion, the transient has to feel alive. Now I activate filter 1, but I only send oscillator B into the filter. I remove oscillator A from the filter because I only want to shape the punch layer here. Now I go into the FX section and add distortion. At this stage, I'm not trying to make the kick clean, I'm trying to create aggression. But Rawstyle is not just about adding distortion. The distortion has to react to the system. So I create another LFO in envelope mode and map it to the filter resonance. This envelope only affects the first hit. That means the resonance jumps at the transient and gives the punch more movement and more bite. Now the attack feels more alive, instead of just being a static, distorted sound. After that, I start shaping the tone with EQ and another distortion stage. I place an EQ before the next distortion. Then I add another distortion below it and push that distortion to around 70%. Inside the EQ, I start looking for the fundamental and the important frequencies of the kick. Around the low end, I create a gain movement with another envelope. This gives the first hit a stronger body. I create a gain movement with another envelope. This gives the first hit a stronger body. Then I create another movement higher up. I link that movement to the same kind of transient envelope I used for the resonance. So now the kick is not just distorted, it is being shaped by movement. I add hyperdimension near the top of the FX chain. This is where the Rawstyle kick starts to feel designed, not random. Now I create the tail. For this, I add a hall reverb. Then I create another LFO in envelope mode and map it to the reverb mix. This is very important. The reverb is not washing over the whole kick. It only comes up in the tail. Now I go back to oscillator B. I use the warp mode and set it to FM from oscillator A. I only push it around 11 or 12%. This adds more tension to the punch and makes it feel nastier without destroying the shape completely. Now I add oscillator C. This is going to be a texture layer. I change the wavetable to Squelchy 3, set the random to 0 again, and use the same envelope as the crunch layer to control the volume. This makes the texture move together with the crunch. It does not feel like a separate random sound, it becomes part of the system. Then, I create another envelope for the tail movement and map it to the warp or sync movement on oscillator C. I keep it around 30 to 40%. This gives the end of the crunch a more raspy and aggressive finish. So now, the kick has punch, crunch, transient movement, distortion, reverb tail, and extra texture. The next step is control. I add a compressor and turn on multi-band mode. Then, I push the lows and the below area to make the kick feel more solid. After that, I use a splitter. In the side information, I remove the lows. This helps avoid phase problems in the low end. Then I use a utility in bass mono mode. The low end has to stay centered. Now that the system is built, I can create variations very quickly. One of the easiest ways is moving the filter cutoff. Just changing the cutoff gives the kick a completely different tone. This is why building a system is powerful. After that, I can simply drag the sound from Serum into the DAW. This makes the workflow fast, because once I like the kick, I can immediately print it as audio. For one final variation, I go back to oscillator B. I push the unison all the way up. Then I create another envelope and map it to the D tune, but only on the transient. This changes the attack a lot. The kick becomes wider, rougher, and more exaggerated. So that is the Rawstyle kick system. Oscillator A creates the crunch body. Oscillator B creates the punch. Global pitch movement creates the transient snap. The filter shapes the punch tone. Distortion adds aggression. EQ movement controls the body and the bite. Reverb creates the tail. Oscillator C adds texture. Compression glues the system together. And stereo cleanup keeps the low end controlled. A Rawstyle kick is not just one distorted sound. Every part has a job. And when every part does its job, the kick becomes aggressive, controlled, and alive. That is the KROSPER approach. Build the kick like a system, not like a random preset. The free Rawstyle kick download is linked below. Download it, open Serum 2, and study how the system works. And if you want the full KROSPER arsenal, check out the Ultimate Bundle 2. It includes the complete collection of KROSPER tools, presets, racks, generators, and sounds for harder electronic music. Links are in the description. That's how you turn sound into power.